Hey, I want to show you another comic book that you've never heard of and that you probably don't have in your collection, although some of us have them and forget we have them. All right, this is hard to read because it's a very prismatic cover. The first printing was red, the second printing was gold, and I think the third printing was silver. I only have the first printing. This was originally $3.50, September back in the 90s. I think it was like 94. It says 93 here, so I guess 93. Shocking first issue. This is called Judgment Day. I like the prismatic cover. This was like the only reason I got a hold of these is they had them at Toys R Us in these like 5-packs or 3-packs. I can't remember. I got one of them sealed that's Purg, and I really can't tell you how many is inside of it. And I'm beginning to wonder if it's sealed because there's more than I would imagine inside of it. Anyway. So we got on the cover our 3 superheroes for the comic book. I guess it's four superheroes for the comic book, 4-person team. All right, that's number 1. Number 2, it's still sealed. Oh no, I got tape on the back, so I'm guessing I took it out to look at the Purg card. I definitely already have another one of those loose. All right, in this action-packed issue, Judgment Day. Oh, I know what it is. I put it in a bag inside of a bag is what it was. It wasn't just enough to have it in the poly bag. So the poly bag is still sealed. Judgment Day tracks Geyser, Celebrio, and the villains who abducted them to overthrow... Sorry, this is really hard to read. It's all these weird names. Judgment Day tracks Geyser, Celebrio, and the villains who abducted them to overthrow castle in the Baltic Sea. Mortar battles for freedom against Proto of the Red Front and a mercenary from extremes past. That word was so overused in the 90s. Extreme this, extreme that. Past influences, business in Hong Kong. My gosh, that's a lot of like word jumbly junk. A lightning classic you won't want to miss. Won't. That's, whew. They're trying to really tongue my tie up. All right, so we got, these are the artists and people that are involved. We got the Lightning Comics right here. This is number 2. All right, and then number 3, we got our, looks like Aquaman, sort of Namor-ish Aquaman. And we got our Wetworks guy, our... you can tell that they draw a lot of influences. This is like very impulse, or not impulse. What is it called? My gosh, if I can image impulse. I mean, this looks like Wetworks. I mean, this is definitely image laden. But a lot of comics were trying to, get their foothold in during the crazy times. When Image basically started, everybody else said, "Hey, let's do it. Let's jump in and do it." And it became a big, huge thing in the 90s of all these upstart companies just coming out of nowhere, and Lightning Comics is no exception. So for $2.95, this is a December, probably 94, maybe 93. It says 93 on the art right here for January, so I'm guessing it's January of 94 is when this was meant for. We got our Not So Much Wetworks for number 5, fighting the Not Wolverine over here, where they're not Jean Grey in the background. And it's driven by Mike Pence and E. Pence and P. Laladzki. All right, I can't pronounce these names. All right, Judgment Day. Looks like their colors are all starting to get synchronized. Like instead of being gold and purple and googly gook, it's like silver and red. So we got our Not Void, our Not Shattershot. Man. I mean, it's such a complete build of the Red Front. Enter the Red Front. So we got our what was his name? The guy with the claws in Wildcats. I can't think of his name right now. My brain wants to actually give me his real name, like Reno, I think is his real name. Wow, okay, so, okay, I was about to say, why are the comics coming out at the top? I think the board may be too big, I don't know. All right, so now we have number 7, and this is all in the last 2 videos. I wasn't sure. I'm only missing one of Bloodfire. That's number 0. Letter 0. All right, origin issue. So we're at number 7. We're finally giving you the origin of the superheroes. We got a guy getting blasted on the front. I haven't read this, so I don't remember it. If I did read it back in the 90s, I don't remember it. It's easily forgettable because you can clearly tell that I would have just remembered this as some kind of, like if I read this, like, oh, I thought this was an Image comic I read. I thought this was Cyber Force or Wildcats or some other team that they're trying to copy. I'm not saying you are, so if you're watching this video and you drew this comic, which I doubt seriously that happened, I'm not saying you did, but come on, you know you got influenced by it. There's no doubt. This is an April edition, and since this is the final edition, this is the final issue, let's take a look inside and see. Sorry, my voice, I didn't realize this is my first video of the day, so I've only talked to the kitty cats. And usually I don't enunciate very loudly to them because they don't understand what I'm saying anyway. So this is April 1994. So this is one of the earlier things that they made. So let's just take a quick run through of what we got here. Okay, they're just giving the same spiel over here that they did in the other videos I made. Visions of the Gate. Now, I don't have much information on these. It is on the CLZ app. It is not on Mike's Amazing World of Comics, and there's no street dates for these. Like, in other words, you see it says April of 1994. There's no publication date that I can find anywhere online, because I was going to try to make individual videos for every day. I'm trying to get it to where every day of the year has a short video. Uh-oh, he's going to send her to hell. Go to hell. No, don't do that, Wolverine. I mean, not Wolverine. Okay, and then we got the Wetworks guy. We got the Jean Grey looking girl with the, actually she's more like Rachel now because she's got spikes all over her. I mean, it's your standard, very image-laden comics. Like, they got body bags big enough for demons. That's interesting. Look around, Crypt. Does it look like I've done without those slave drivers? I just thought, I thought he was going to say something like, I'm fabulous. I thought he was going to say something like that because his hands are all pestered out. There's Rachel. Now she's Demon Rachel. Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I may eventually get to this one day if the world, you know, freezes and I have all the time in the world, but it's not a priority on my list. I got it back in the 90s because it was extreme. It was, everything was new and I got to get new. Get it. And now it's like, yeah. Be here for next issue. Red Fury. Don't miss it. Well, guess what? We're all missing it. Now, here's the thing I'm wondering. Do you think that they may have printed that issue and then shelved it, or did they actually have any pieces of it, or is it out there on the internet? Because there's so little about Lightning Comics even out there. All right, so I think this is kind of a, oh, we're closing shop kind of thing is what I'm wondering. So on behalf of Lightning Comics, I want to thank each and every one of you for reading Judgment Day series up to this point. When Steve and I started Lightning Comic Books, sorry, I have my hand on my face. Our goal was to publish books in a different genre. Okay. Bloodfire was our solo superhero. Judgment Team was our super team, and Purge was our supernatural vigilante. So there's 3 different groups. I've given you all of them so far on video. We wanted to create an entertaining comic. Okay, it's too far across the page for me. Let me do something, because I have a reading disability when it comes to something like this. All right. We wanted strong artwork, blah, 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 blah. Judgment Day was the first in 1993. Okay, so Judgment Day was released in 1993 first. Jackson, pencil, having to do something. So if you want to read it, you can pause it. I'm trying to scan to see if there's anything about, yes, we may have been overly ambitious, however, blah, blah, blah. So what happens to Judgment Day after this issue? It follows the synopsis storyline is issue storylines for 9 and 10. This is 8, so we never got a 9 and 10. In issue 9, Gridlock, blah, 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 blah. In issue 10, so you can pause if you want to read that part. We were planning, okay, here's what I was wondering, okay. We were planning on ending the series in a way which would allow for a bigger, better Judgment Day to return in a mini-series format, which may still happen at some point in the future. If anybody knows that this happened, just let me know, I'm curious. Unfortunately, orders for the first series diminished to the point where we could no longer justify continuing publication. The members of Judgment Day still exist within the Lightning Comics universe. And we'll make guest appearances in our other series, beginning with Dread Wolf #1. Now, there is a Dread Wolf. I have that one somewhere. So if I happen to find all my Dread Wolf comics, which probably won't be many, I will make a video of that for you guys. It is hope for you at our valued reader and fan to continue to support Lightning Comics. We promise to provide improved product. So anyway, there's the rest of it. So we do know that they were closing shop, even though they had planned 9 and 10. They give you the synopsis of what would happen. They said, well, we'll bring it back in something else. So I'm just curious out there, if you've ever gotten these or read these, let me know. Is it something I should read? I just feel like it's such a copycat of everything else. I'm like, I never made it a priority, and now it's like, golly, 93, 2000, it's 30 years later, and I'm still like, meh. I mean, I'm going to keep it in my collection because it's such a rarity, because I've never seen anybody else anywhere talk about this. I've seen it shown nowhere. Even Rob, who has a billion trillion comics that he's been selling, he's never showed one of these before that I'm aware of. Now, Rob, if you're watching this, let me know. I would love to know. But let's go back in synopsis here. We got issue 7, which I think I put it backwards because it's supposed to be in the front. Issue 8. Issue 6. Issue 5. Issue 4. Issue 3. The Per glow-in-the-dark card. Issue 2. And issue 1. All right. Thanks for watching. And again, I have all my questions I've already asked. Have a great day.